Why is it important that we talk about rage? I know that in many parts of our world and in many cultural contexts, rage does not really get enough respect, if I can say that. There is a lot of stigma, shame, guilt, even moral failure that's associated with strong and intense expression of anger. But somehow this emotion has not just survived, but continued to be strong over the several thousand years of human evolution. And that's because anger has a specific function. Several scholars have noted that appropriate, respectful, and timely relationship with anger and rage can in fact help us prevent violence, which means that if I learn how to notice my anger, express it, and communicate that to the people concerned, it can help in further escalation of violence in the current situation. So, rage and anger has helped us set and protect our boundaries, which are so integral for our survival. Communicating that, hey, that's my territory, be that both physical and psychological, becomes really important when we tell someone that you are treading on thin ice right now. This is really vulnerable. This is really protective. This is really sensitive for me. Please back off. It has also helped us protect and ensure the safety of our loved ones. Think about the people that we really love, especially folks who are at a more vulnerable stage, maybe our children, maybe our elderly parents and grandparents and other relatives and friends. When we express our rage and say that this is my territory, this has helped us protect people who may not be able to come forward and speak up on their own because of their current circumstances. So noticing and developing a healthy relationship with our own anger comes as a first step as clinicians who wish to work with clients who have postpartum rage. If we have a difficult relationship with anger, we are constantly going to find ourselves trying to tell our clients to somehow get it together and not experience it and not express it. So I know this kind of feels like more of that introspective self-awareness work, but it becomes so necessary because the outside world is anyway telling our clients often, please don't be angry. Please don't express your anger. Your anger is making me so uncomfortable. What does rage look like? A lot of us have been raised in families and cultures where experience and expression of rage is so forbidden that we may not even recognize that what we are experiencing is anger and rage, in fact. So helping our clients even label that looks like rage to me, is that how you experience it, can be really critical. I have picked some quotes from a latest research by O and et al. That talks about postpartum rage among new mothers. And these are mothers who are within 1 year of their childbirth, and they were interviewed to explore how their postpartum rage impacted their well-being, their relationship with their child, and with their partner and other family members. I selected a few quotes that really resonated with me, that helped me understand anger can look so different in how it comes out. One participant in the study shared that I definitely had a lot of anger around sleep. And those of us who have been around small children, especially babies, we know that their sleep is anything but predictable. And which means then our sleep is also impacted. And because it's such a basic need, when we go several months and sometimes years with that consistent sleep, it can absolutely contribute to our postpartum rage. This participant further adds that I attributed to the inability to control his sleep, my child's sleep, and then getting frustrated with, why the hell won't you sleep? And what's wrong with you? And by extension, what's wrong with me? Right? Because I haven't been able to fix this for you. I haven't been able to make him more comfortable or figure out what's causing the problem. And here you will notice that there is such a deep sense of failure and by extension, some shame as well. The anger is really coming out, but what's underlying that is a deep sense of failure, a sense of brokenness, and that I have failed as a mother. And it can also feel like we are answerable to others, right? When people ask, is your baby sleeping well? Have you tried this? These can all fan those flames of feeling like we are broken as mothers and that we need to be doing something right that we don't know. And when that builds up over several months and years, It often comes out as lashing out, irritability, crying spells, anger, muscle tightness, chronic pain, and all those symptoms that we talked about a couple of slides ago. Another client talks about how there would be times that they would be in tears, maybe feeling sorry for myself, like, why do I have to be up taking care of this baby, having to breastfeed this baby, just wanting my needs met and they are not being met, like night after night after night. I'm not getting sleep during the day, then I wouldn't cry normally. That's when I would get angry and want to yell. But at night, then it would be, no, I'm angry, I'm going to cry. And in this quote, what really stood out for me is the sense of self-censorship, right? I'm constantly watching how I'm experiencing my emotions. And because of the people around me and how I might be viewed, I'm not going to express this anger. I'm not going to give myself time to cry and say, this is really hard. And it does not come with any manual. It does not come with any training. And I just have to do this day in and day out. It can also have shades around resentment, right? Why am I the only person who needed to do this full pregnancy, go through childbirth, go through breastfeeding, and be the preferred parent for my child? Why me, while my partner gets to have a relatively or completely unaffected life and still be able to go back to work, still have the body that they want, still be able to eat whatever they want, whenever they want, and sleep without having intrusive thoughts going on in their mind? That can be another shade around postpartum rage, which is resentment and feeling like we are doing this all by ourselves and there's nobody who can really change this up for us. Another quote talks about the combination of emotions. So again, really normalizing for our clients that anger is not going to be a pure emotion for us. It's often going to show up with a couple of other combinations, including sadness. So this participant talks about how it's anger at first, and then I would get sad. And I don't want to show people that I'm mad. I think I'm too scared to make other people upset, and so I don't. Like, my fear of making people upset is more than me wanting to tell people. I feel like I don't really know how to control my anger or how to get rid of it or lower it down. Imagine the suffering where you're knowing that something really painful is going on for you, and you have no tools, no language, no knowledge on how to manage it, while you're also doing what's possibly the hardest thing in your life, which is to keep a baby alive and nourished and happy. I don't lash out at anybody, but in my head, it's like very overwhelming, and sometimes I get mad. So an already isolating experience around motherhood can become even more isolating when we are starting to mask our emotions. And as clinicians, we don't want to say something insensitive like, why don't you just tell everyone that you're upset? Why don't you stop caring about what other people think and just express it? And that's where our own sociocultural awareness and knowledge can come in, knowing that in many communities, paying attention to the well-being of the group, it takes precedence over paying attention to the well-being of an individual. So telling our clients, completely tone deaf, saying that, go and tell your parents how you feel, go and tell your husband how you feel, can shut them down even more, can further isolate them even from that one space, which was therapy that was supposed to be dedicated for them. So being very cautious before we jump to seemingly simple solutions, such as set boundaries, tell them how you feel. Remember, these are all concepts that were developed in one part of the world that may not be applicable to other communities and cultures.